Right, welcome to this complete army video for the Space Wolves. Very quickly, I've got an army put together for these. New codex has come out. The codex review is already on the channel, and well, it's been quick. We've filmed some battle reports with these already. A new list has been proposed on the Plus channel, and then now the final list is here in this complete army video. So the aim for this video here is to talk about the whole army, tactics, the overall philosophy for the army, and then go through the units, build this army up, and then at the end we'll stand back and take a look at the whole army, talk about the overall battle plan, why different units have been chosen. You'll see different loadouts and so on that I've gone for. It's 2,000 points, battle forged army here for the Space Wolves. Very excited to have them on the channel. It'd be great to have another Space Marines chapter represented, and immediately there at 2,000 points, ready to fight in games. And as I said, we've already been filming some battle reports, so very excited to be bringing those to both of the channels as well. So there'll be a start collecting video as well. If you check that out, I'll zoom in, take a closer look at some of the models, and that'll give you sort of an idea of the flavour of what Space Wolves are all about. It'll be a showcase for the models, and we'll talk about sort of the practical side of collecting and why you would collect them, and sort of the practical aspects about that. That's covered in the start collecting video. So just an introduction for someone who's interested in potentially collecting Space Wolves, just to give you an idea of what to expect if you're going to choose to collect that Space Marines chapter in particular. But for this video here, it's a completed list, 2,000 points, and I'm going to build it up on paper here, and then we'll bring in each of the units, gradually get an idea of how this army is going to be formed. So just love the whole colour scheme for Space Wolves. That artwork on the front, that blue-grey colour for their armour, that golden colour, all of the hair and the pelts and so on, and the wolf skins as well. And then this, always love that yellow colour introduced in there. So I've gone for sort of the standard. This army's actually been painted by Siege Studios. I haven't painted these models. I asked them to paint up sort of classic Space Wolf style. So the units that you see, and again, check out the close-up views of them in the start collecting video, but they've all been done by Siege Studios. You can check them out. There'll be a link in the description below. But they've done an excellent job in putting this army together. So very happy with the results. But I asked them to go for that start, and they've copied my own sort of basing technique as well. So Space Wolves, then, you've got all different types of Space Marine chapters, but if you look at the artwork for Space Wolves, often it's sort of very close combat, right up close to the enemy, taking them on. No matter what kind of enemy they face, Space Wolves are happy enough to charge into them. And then you've got the whole sort of wolf theme going on, the hunting in packs and that kind of idea. So this is an aggressive Space Marines chapter, and one that wants to hunt the enemy down and then close in for the kill. So that's kind of the theme I've tried to reflect in the army. So you'll see a number of units, well, most of the units are geared towards getting close. So that's sort of the theme. An army that hunts, and like a wolf pack, one wolf doesn't go in on its own. Wolves will hunt, they'll surround their prey, take their time, when the time's right they all pounce together. And that's the idea, try and deliver a blow to the opponent's force where all of the units, or as many units as possible, get to charge at the same time for maximum impact, and it sort of overwhelms the opponent. So that's kind of the overall battle strategy, and you'll see that reflected in the battle reports as the try to attempt to do that. It can be difficult, a lot of dangerous shooty armies out there, but that's sort of the overall plan for the Space Wolves. Now with the codex, you've got access to loads of regular Space Marines units, and then loads of unique units for the Space Wolves, tons of HQs that are unique to them, and some great units available, like the Wolfen, for example. They're in this list. And then even regular units like Terminators, they've all got these customized extras to make them distinct from regular Space Marines. So Space Wolves are very nicely themed, very strong themed army, despite them being Space Marines chapter. They're very, very unique, very, very iconic Space Marines chapter for sure. So, you know, maybe you already have a Space Marines army, still if you collect Space Wolves is something quite different. So the rules are geared, just giving you an idea of an army there. A lot of infantry on foot here for the Space Wolves. That's sort of the theme for my army. But a lot of rules are geared towards the Space Wolves for getting into close combat, like +1 to hit on the charge in close combat. It's very much encouraging you to go for a close combat based army. So that's what I've tried to reflect here for the Space Wolves. This is not like a regular Space Marine army. It's more unique Space Wolves units, to really try to showcase them and aggressive close combat style. So we'll build up the list here. So it's I have Battle Scribe. I still like using pen and paper. It's handy. I just tuck the sheet inside my codex. I still like using pen and paper, but I have Battle Scribe as well. It's a handy tool to have. But I've gone for Battle Forged, so that gives me 3 command points, and then it is a battalion, just for a nice healthy amount of extra command points. 5 command points now, so that's 8 command points in total. It's not as big as other armies, but still 8 is pretty healthy. It's not too bad. So happy enough to have that many command points available. So for that you have to take 2 HQs, and the first HQ is, and this list, by the way, it's open for discussion. That's what this video is for, is to show you the list that I've come up with. But if you think of ideas, units that you'd drop, units you'd add in, or if you want to change the configuration of unit, drop certain weapons, give them certain upgrades, and leave that in the comment section below. If you agree with the list, then just say that. Or if you want to rewrite the list, then put it in the comment section, and that could be open for discussion with others. All the lists I have on the channel is always open for improvements, and I do listen to what people say, and a lot of the good improvements I've done for different armies, they have been subscriber suggestions that have been made. So that's a sort of a good point of discussion here for the Space Wolves in this video. Yeah, I'll put him first. So the first one's Crom, Dragon Gaze. I think my favourite Space Wolves model, painted up by Siege Studios, as I said. Just utterly fantastic model. Absolutely brilliant model. Just the sculpting work is fantastic, and Games Workshop have done an amazing job. So really happy to have him in. Now he comes out at 90 points. So nice and cheap. One of the other themes that I wanted for the Space Wolves is to have an army that's lots of heroes in it, sort of characters that are out to make a name for themselves, and an army that's got all these characters trying to achieve great heroic feats and so on. So lots of characters was sort of the aim. And then having characters fits in with one of the strategies for this army, and that's to have decent characters but hidden behind a screen, so the opponent can't get to those characters, ones that are deadly enough to cause trouble, and the opponent has to work his way trying to break through the screens that have been made by this army in order to get to the characters at the back. So it's sort of the two tie in nicely. I want to have characters in the army, and then tactically I think it's a good idea as well. So Crom's good. 5 wounds, 5 attacks. That's loads of attacks, for a 90-point model. 2s to hit in close combat. And then he has the Worm Claw, which is +2 strength, his fighting strength 6, AP -2, and it's D3 damage a time. So he's brilliant. He's got an invuln save 4+, and Jarl of Fenris, you can reroll hit rolls 1 for friendly Space Wolves units within 6. That's any Space Wolves units, and often they're on 2s to hit anyway, so 2s to hit, rerolling 1s. It's brilliant. And then him, 2s to hit, rerolling 1s. He's affected by his own bubble. So I think for 90 points, it's an absolute bargain. Great unit to have. So really happy to have Crom in the list. The next HQ is, he was a good option. Harold Deathwolf, good option for sure. But I've gone for Canis Wolfborn. Now again, he's a cheaper HQ, he's not as expensive as others. He comes out 125 points, and he's not that deadly, to be honest, but he does grant some pretty good bonuses. He's got 6 wounds, he's got 4 attacks. He has the Wolf Claws, which is +1 strength, so fight strength 5. It is AP -1, AP -2, and then he gets an extra attack, so he gets 4 attacks, 5 attacks with that. Crushing Teeth and Claws as well from his wolf mount there as well. Now he gets to reroll failed charge rolls, You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for friendly Space Wolves units within 6. That's any units again, so it'll benefit anyone within 6 for that. And that's any type of roll, so for wounding. So that's going to be shooting as well. And then Born of Wolves, you can make an additional Teeth and Claws attack in the fight phase, or friendly Thunderwolf, Fenrisian Wolves, or Cyber Wolves units that are within 6 of him. So big incentive to take the Wolves there. I've actually made him the Warlord. I'll cover this now. And he has a fixed Warlord trait, which is Canis Wolfborn, Saga of the Wolfkin. Your Warlord and all models in friendly units of Wolfen, Space Wolves Beasts, and Space Wolves Cavalry units within 6 inches of him, when they have chosen to fight in the fight phase, make an additional attack. Extra attack, decent bonus, which they made a successful charge. In addition, you do not need to take morale tests for units whilst they're in 6. For these units, whilst they're in 6 of your Warlords. So, again, a great incentive there to take Thunderwolf Cavalry, for example. You know, ignoring morale with him around. So, he himself, not that deadly. He'll be alright for mashing through regular infantry, but the bonuses he grants are pretty good. And for 125 points, I don't think it's too bad. So, Canis Wolfborn is the second HQ. So that's the 2 HQs. There's still characters to come, but we'll go on to troops next. There's Canis, by the way. Again, check out the Start Collecting video, and I'll zoom in on these. You can get a good look at what these models look like. But there he is. Now this is the lead model. I found this one on eBay, and then I posted it to Siege Studios, asking them to paint up the lead one for me. So there he is. But they put him on top of these rocks, so it looks quite cool. Big, massive model, and the lead one weighs an absolute ton, so big lump of an HQ just there. So then troops next. So you have to take 3 of them, and instead of minimal troop options, I've gone for decent sized units. And first is one of my favourites, that's Blood Claws. So Blood Claws, first of all, unit of 12, and a unit of 12 of those is 156 points. It's cheap enough. Another unit of 12 as well. This is my screen here to bulk the army out. So, and they look fantastic. They're great models. So there's 4 of them. Units of 10 look okay, that's what you expect, but if you get to units of 12, they look, especially on the new size bases, they're big units. I rate them. You know, it's a lot of power armor for your opponent to try and chew through. Nice big unit of 12. So I need 2 extra above a unit of 10, but it just bulks them out. And then take 2 units of them, and you've got decent sized, 2 decent sized units here, and it just bulks the army out. Like so. So you can see how much of an impact they make. And not too bad. 156 points. Not too expensive. Now, with these, they only get 1 attack, but bolt pistol and chainsaw are granted to them, so that's an extra attack in close combat. So now they're on 2 attacks, and then Berserk Charge. On the turn in which they make a successful charge, they make an additional attack in the fight phase of all models in this unit. It's all of a sudden 3 attacks each. That is 36 attacks on the charge. It's not bad, and then 2s to hit now for Space Wolves on the charge as well. So it's real good. Yeah. So, great unit, really, really good. So, yeah, so that's the idea for them. Then I've got a unit of 10 Grey Hunters. I had to put them into the army as well. So, another good unit. This one, I've gone for a unit of 10 of these. So, this is more of your supporting unit, a bit of firepower available for these. So that's them. I see the army's bulked out quite nicely with infantry now. 10 of them, but I do give them 2 times plasma guns. Let's just turn the entry up here. Grey Hunters, same price, 13 points each. The plasma gun you are allowed to take, it's got, for every 5 models in the unit, so that's unit 10, you can take special weapons. You can replace your bolter with special weapons. That's what I've done. if you add that in, that comes to 156 points as well. So that's that. So it's just to provide a bit of walking firepower. You know, the plasma's generally good all round. You can fire it at vehicles, you can overcharge it, fire it at heavy infantry, monsters and so on. Not too expensive. And then just regular bolters. And the great thing about these is they come with Wolf Guard. They're armed with bolt gun, bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. And then it says any Grey Hunter may take a chain sword. Bolt gun, bolt pistol. Yeah, it doesn't say replace. So you can keep your bolt gun, bolt pistol and take a chain sword in addition. So I've given them all chain swords. It's free of charge to do it. And it means that they get that extra attacks. They all got 2 attacks each as well. Just like the Blood Claws have also. So I think they're great. And for 156 points, it's not too expensive. And again, another nice bulky unit. So now your screen is 34 models for the opponent to try and chew his way through in order to reach the characters. Potentially they're hidden at the back. So that's fulfilled the requirements for the battalion. Then I haven't gone for any Primaris. I'm saving that for my Red Scorpions. That's going to be my Primaris based army. Wolf Scouts, pretty good option, but I haven't gone for those. They're actually elite here, not troops. Aggressors, Servitors are trying to stay away from regular Space Marine options. Lucas the Trickster is definitely a consideration. Decent unit, or decent model. And yeah, the next one is onto the elite section. And it's Wolf Guard Terminators, one of the classic Space Wolves units. Yes, sort of a regular Space Marine choice, but they're so customised, they look so unique for Space Wolves. I really wanted to include them in. When you see the close-up view of these, you know, they look fantastic. Siege Studio's done a great job putting these together. So I've gone for Unit 5. This is one of my elites, close combat type units. So, like so. So 5 of them. Again, bulking the army out. The 2 attacks each, 2 up save, 5+ inbun save. It's all good. Bit slower. They do have the teleport strike option. I don't think Space Wolves like doing that, just in the fluff, but that is an option that's available. So you can protect them and have them turn up. Turn 1 you're in deployment zone, or turn 2 somewhere else, and then try and make a charge. So the configuration I've gone for those is 2 of them with the Wolf Claws. That's the Lightning Claws. Extra attack and rerolling wounds. AP -2. Gone for a Power Sword on this one, and a Storm Bolter. He's the one that sort of absorbs the hits, that takes the damage. And then one with a Frost Axe and Storm Bolter. And then the Sergeant with the extra attack. He has the Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. So nice 3+ invuln save to protect him. For that loadout, and they really are geared towards close combat, that comes to 197 points. So I've kept them below 200, but they're still expensive enough. But they're there to join, you know, the main battle group here. As you can see, this group on foot, Crom will be with them. There is options to transport these in different ways, as you'll see later on, as we show you some of the other units. But just bulking the army out here, and this is a solid enough unit. Terminators are tough enough to try and deal with. Then, yeah, the next one is a Venerable Dreadnought. Now, for Venerable Dreadnoughts, yes, they are available to the regular Space Marines, but Space Wolves can really customise theirs, and there's a unique one that I've gone for. Massive fan of this model, and that's the Fenrisian Great Axe and the Blizzard Shield. Just so unique for the Space Wolves, and a beautiful kit that Games Workshop have produced as well. And Siege Studios have used like a glossy effect here on the edge for it to represent this frosty edge to this axe. But beautiful model, really, really nice. So he's in. The idea for him is to move in advance up with the infantry, heading off towards the opponent, making use of cover and so on. And then if you can get into close combat, then it's pretty deadly. It's moved 6, plus an advanced move, you're getting 7 inches at least a turn for movement. It does have smoke launchers. Unwieldy Ancient, it's a d6 each time you lose a wound, or 6 wounds is not lost. And then the Blizzard Shield, which is the option I give them, is 4+ in one save. It used to be 3+, which is a shame. Now it's just a 4+, but still, Dreadnought with a 4+ in one save. It's pretty good. Half the damage that's going to come through, you're going to block, which is good. The Fenrisian Great Axe, the total for him, by the way, yeah, this one. Just seeing, I want to replace his Dreadnought Close Combat Weapon with a Great Wolf Claw. This one I want to replace his Assault Cannon Dreadnought Close Combat Weapon with Fenrisian Great Axe and Blizzard Shield. Yeah, so that's the option I've gone for, and the total for that is 157 points. Going to pay for a Stormbolter on it as well. So 157 points. Again, not too expensive, not too bad. You've got your 8 wounds. Because it's 8 wounds, they're less than 10. There's going to be no damage bracket, which is excellent. So even if you're on 1 wound with this thing, it's still going to fight at full effectiveness. 4 attacks, nice healthy amount of attacks. 2s to hit in close combat. And the Great Axe here, you can cleave, which is +4 strength, so you're fighting at strength 10. AP -3 and d6 damage. It is -1 to hit, but then you get +1 to hit again when you're on the charge. So excellent, it's an improvement there. You can go for Scythe, make 2 additional hit rolls for each attack. Make 2 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1. So like 8 attacks if you use that. And that's strength for the user, strength 6, AP -3. It's great for hacking through regular and heavy armed infantry. So I think it's pretty solid. Just the delivery is the issue. Can you get him close enough to the opponent's army is the key. Or you can make him a defensive. You can stick him on some objective at the back, just have him sit there, and the opponent's got to try and shoot him down where he's well protected, or try and get to him in close combat, in which case he can defend himself pretty good. That's the Venerable Dreadnought. Next, yeah, there's plenty of elites here. Next is the Wolfen. So I do have a unit of these. I'll make some room for the Terminators. You can see the army bulking out quite nice. So, Wolfen, hyper elite unit, if they make contact with a vehicle or heavy infantry, or if they're able to surround a character, they will cause massive trouble. So crazy rules for these. I'll run through the configuration for them first of all. So Wolfen's 5 of them, and I've gone for 2 of them with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. So usual rules for them. That grants us a bit of protection, 3+ invuln save and the deadly Thunderhammers. Now -1 to hit, but then +1 again for on the charge. Then 2 of them have got the Great Frost Axes, 1 and 2. We'll check the stats there in just a moment. And then also the Wolf Claws just here. So the total for that configuration is 210 points. This is an elite unit, one you want to keep alive as much as possible. Now, 3 attacks each, crazy amount of attacks for these. 2 wounds as well. Strength 5, toughness 4. 7-inch move, nice and quick. And you have a 4-up armor save. The Frost Claws is +1 strength and -2. You get an extra attack and you can reroll wounds, so decent enough. The Great Frost Axe is +3 strength. Now, this means they'll be fighting at strength 8. AP -3 and D3 damage. And your bearer makes an additional attack with this weapon in the turn in which you charge. So 4 attacks in the charge for these. So vehicles are going to get serious trouble. And then Thunderhammers, ×2 strength, so strength 10, AP -3 and 3 damage at a time. Utterly deadly. So if they the aim is to get them into combat. There. You can take the Stormfrag auto launcher. I'm going to be advancing and charging with these and moving with these. I didn't see any point in taking the shooting weapons. Besides, they're 5+ to hit. So I haven't bothered with them just to save points. You can advance and charge in the same turn, so a nice bit of speed available from these. And they have this great Death Frenzy special rule as well. Roll a d6 each time a model in this unit loses a wound, and a 5+ the wound is not lost. If a model in this unit is slain in the fight phase, then once the enemy unit has finished making its attacks, you can attack with that model before removing it as a casualty. So crazy rules there. Even if you've attacked already, then someone attacks you back and you lose some models, they then get to fight again. before they're removed. Then they've got these bonuses as well. Curse of the Wolf and Hunt. You can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly Space Wolves, infantry, biker and cavalry units within 6 of this unit. So a great bonus they grant to other units. The range of this ability is doubled to 12 inches for blood claw units, which I've got 2 big size units there. And then Curse of the Wolf Kill. You can make an additional attack for models in friendly Space Wolves, infantry, biker and cavalry units within 6 of any unit of this ability. When they make their attacks in the fight phase, the range of this ability is 12 inches for blood claws. Wolfen are not affected by this ability, nor are units that made a charge this turn while within range of the Curse of the Wolfen ability, which is there. So you've got to get the technical bit of that right, but some great bonuses available there also. It's a great unit, great bonuses available from them. The vulnerability is just them being shot up. The opponent knows how deadly they are, and so makes them a priority. But anyway, they're in the list anyway, and I hope to see them plunging into combat in many of the future battles will be well, but they're 210 points, a unit well worth looking after. There's some tips and ways of moving these around the table that might be able to take advantage of, which we'll cover as we go along. So next is Murderfang. This is a 4th elite here. Yeah, I just checked the rulebook there. You can take up to 6 elites for a battalion. But there's Murderfang. Fantastic looking model, again one of the unique Space Wolves units, and that's what I really wanted to do, make one of the unique, or take as many unique units as possible. Murderfang's there. The great thing about this one is, crucially, his character, which means he can hide behind units and be difficult to target. So, you know, not too bad protection if the Venerable Dreadnought, it can be picked on no matter where it is, but the Murderfang unit is better protected as a character, which is crucial. And if you can get into combat, it's deadly. 5 attacks. If you can reroll failed charge rolls with Murderfang, in addition to the turn in which you charge, an extra 2 attacks. So you're on 7 attacks at 2s to hit, and it can be the Murder Claws times 2 strength, strength 12, 8 minus 3, and 3 damage. And you can reroll wounds as well. So he'll mash through anything, characters, monsters, vehicles, heavy infantry. Utterly horrific if he can make it into combat. Does have an 8-inch move, you know, plus your advance, so he's quick enough for a Dreadnought, but it's just a case of protecting him, keeping him behind the screen and getting him into a range where he can engage. Sort of turn 3 onwards, just sort of looking to engage the opponent's forces with that unit. Murderfang is 170 points, so nicely below 200. So he's in the list as well. Then we're on fast attack, and I do have a unit of Thunderwolf Cavalry. You know, classic Space Wolves unit. So really wanted to include these in. You know, they're riding wolves. They're sort of very iconic Space Wolves unit. So I had to have them in the list. They look great as well. Games Workshop have done a nice job on these, and they're quite a presence on the board. They're big models. So I've gone for a unit of 5, like so. So 5 of them. The army's looking quite bulked out now. It's Thunderwolf Cavalry. I'm open to change on this configuration, but the configuration I've gone for is Bolt Pistol Chainsaw for 3 of them, and then Frost Axe and Storm Shield on 2 others, to grant a bit of 3+ invuln saves and a bit of, you know, minus on the AP for them. So that total for that, for 5 of them, with the 2 Storm Shields and the 2 Frost Axes, is 230 points. So even with minimal upgrades, it's an expensive unit. They are toughness 5, 3 wounds, nice and durable here. They get 2 attacks, but then the Crushing Claws and Teeth of the wolf itself is an extra 3 attacks as well. These are great as a screen, great for charging into hordes, just with their tons of attacks. I think it's a good idea. So that's the configuration for them. Yeah, so the idea for these is I've got these infantry units moving up, with the characters in amongst them, and then ahead of the army to rush ahead is the Thunderwolf Cavalry, and they're to provide a screen to engage units as quickly as possible, to tie up the opponent as much as possible. So gone for a larger unit, and then obviously Canis Wolfborn is able to keep up with them as well. So that's them. I've got one more unit left that is the most expensive. Longfang's a good option. These are all regular Space Marine vehicles, so I've skipped those, saved them for like my Imperial Fists and so on. James's Ultramarines, he has them. Storm Fang gunship and Storm Hawk interceptor. I've gone for the Storm Wolf, so I'm not sure I'll be able to fit it on the screen, but there's the model. It's a huge flying brick here, but able to transport models quite effectively. It's like the Storm Raven equivalent the Blood Angels have. It can transport 16 infantry. It can take Terminators, Jump Packs and Wolfen models. They take up 2 spaces, and you can't use it for Primaris Marines, but it means I can put the Wolfen inside, and I can put the Terminators inside as well. I reckon I could get all of them in. Yeah, that would count as, no, I wouldn't be able to actually. That would count as 10, and a few characters, or here these would count as 10. Or I can get a whole unit of the Blood Claws in, 12, and still have some slots left for like Crom, for example. So it's an option. It's not fixed, you can choose who you want to go inside, or none. You can just have it as a flying gunship. So it's the Storm Wolf. The configuration I've gone for is 2 las cannons, twin las cannon, and then 2 twin multi-melters. That's 2 shots and 2 shots, so 4 shots in total from that. And then the Hellfrost cannon as well, twin Hellfrost cannon, 353 points is the total. It's a horrific amount of points. I think it is vulnerable, potentially, it could be shot up. If it survives though, it can deliver potentially a horrific amount of firepower. 4 shots coming at strength 8 -4, melter, 2 las cannon shots, and then the Hellfrost cannon is actually pretty good as well. So twin Hellfrost cannon, you can play a focused beam, heavy 2, it's another 2 shots, strength 8 -4 and d6 damage. Or you can go for dispersed, which is heavy 2d3, strength 6 8 -2. Multi-melters, no rule for them, and the las cannons. They are hard to hit, -1 to hit it. It does have Power of the Machine Spirit, which is excellent, so it does not suffer penalty for its hit rolls, smoothing and firing heavy weapons. So that's very, very helpful, just like the Storm Raven gunship. No minus to hit with the heavy weapons, and it's quick enough. In good condition, it will go 50 inches. Plus, you can make an advanced move as well. The total that I have for this list is 2,000 points exactly. So quite happy with how that's turned out. But that's the army, and you can see a big infantry bulk here, some characters and dreadnoughts dotted around, heavy support in the form of the Stormwolf, some real heavy unit like a Liam Ross needs to be taken out, or a super heavy of some kind, or a certain big monster, then use the firepower from that, and then the Thunderwolf Cavalry to provide a screen. Now, just before we take a look at the whole army, just spread out nicely, we'll go over here for some tactical options. So relics, if you're asking about relics, I can't take any relics. All my characters are named: Murderfang, Crom and Canis Wolfborn, so relics are not available, so I'm not able to use any of those. There are some good ones. The Wolfen Stone is an excellent one. We've covered all the traits. And then for relics, there is one. Yeah, Cunning of the Wolf. I was thinking of using this for the Wolfen. Uses stratagem during deployment when setting up a Space Force infantry unit. You can set up this unit on the hunt instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the end of your movement phases, any of your movement phases, this unit can join the battle. Remember, turn 2 onwards, ready to place where you want. Set it up so it's wholly within 6 inches of any battlefield edge of your choice, and more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So chance for an ambush from that. But still, you'll need a 9-inch charge. Well, that is re-rollable, so they stand a better chance of making that happen. So that's a potential option, you know, and if they're kept off the table in reserve, then the opponent can't shoot at them, and you're sort of helping to preserve those. So what we'll do now is I'm going to zoom out, we'll lay the whole army out so you can get a good feel for how this list looks. Alright, so there it is, that's the 2000 points of Space Wolves laid out. So infantry helping to bulk the army out here, they're the screen, and behind them or amongst them the dreadnoughts, characters, Crom as well, and this block's designed to move up, and when the time's right the Wolfen and the Terminators can appear as well to join in the ultimate charge. And then a screening unit here, Thunderwolf Cavalry, nice durable unit, Canis Wolfborn in support of them as well, and then the firepower coming in from the Storm Wolf gunship just there. So that's the sort of the overall overview of the army and the battle plan as well. Feel free to leave your own comments and suggestions, definitely open to ideas here, what you'd add in and take out or change combinations around. If you think there's weaknesses in the list, then leave that in the comment section as well, and strengths and so on, then leave that in the discussion below. If you're an experienced Space Wolves player, then it'd be great to hear your feedback as well in the comment section. It can help other potential Space Wolves players or those who are new to collecting Space Wolves looking for help and advice. Also, keep a lookout for this army den in battle reports on both of the channels. We've filmed a couple already. This army's been fighting away, tooth and claw, in desperate fights already, so you'll get to see on both of the channels how well this list performs. And then thanks to Siege Studios for painting the army up. They've done an excellent job, so you can check them out at siegestudios.co.uk. But there it is, that's the complete army for the Space Wolves, assembled and ready for war. Keep a lookout for them making appearances on the channel. And remember, check out the army introduction video as well, the start collecting video, and that'll give you an idea of the flavour of this army, and I'll zoom in and show you the different units up close. You can get an idea of how they can look. But there it is, that's the complete army for the Space Wolves. They're ready for battle. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.